Our Vista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week between the Hayden Wildcats and the Perry-Lecompton Cause. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you high above the field. Our board op tonight is Bryd Zweigert back at the Alpha Media Studios on Huntoon Hill. Our video producer, if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook Live, is Marco Marquez. Now let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, Jake LeBon, down on the sideline. And Jake, it is an absolutely beautiful night for football here in Topeka.
It is absolutely gorgeous. The best part about tonight, no wind. I mean, it is still as can be right now. The temperature for the game going to be around 65, could dip down to about 60 degrees, maybe get into the 50s, but overall it is going to be an absolutely beautiful day here at Hayden High School. My key to this game, guys, turnovers, because these two defenses really, really good. Who makes the big turnover, and can you capitalize off that turnover? Can you get a big return on an interception? Do you fumble it on the goal line, that type of thing? That's what I'll be looking forward to.
Thank you, Jake. We'll be heading down to the sideline for action throughout the game. Right now, the teams are out on the field getting ready for the coin toss, figuring things out right now. Captain for Hayden out on the field is senior tight end Trey Pivarnik. Hayden won the toss, decided to defer, so it will be Perry-Lecompton who starts off the first half with the ball. They'll be moving from left to right across your radio dial. That's headed toward the north end zone. Greg Akagi, as we get ready for the opening kick with Hayden sprinting out onto the field. Let's get to some keys to the game. Let's start it out here with the Hayden offense.
I think with the Hayden offense, you keep doing what you're doing. And the key is getting the ball to Parnell, getting the ball to someone like Jaden Rayner, Johnny Holloway, as mistake-free of a football game as he's able to have as well. Because this is a good defense. This is a much better defense than he has seen here probably since the Seaman game.
Now looking on the other side for the Hayden defense, that's the group we're going to see out there first. They've got a big task ahead of them trying to slow down the quarterback and the entire offense for Perry-Lecompton.
I think a key there, can that offensive line, that big offensive line, push around Hayden's defensive front seven? You know, keep a divider out of the pass or finding the lanes. You know, getting Metcalf off to a good start. I think that's big, is getting him off to a very good start during this game, too.
He's the kind of guy who can really wear down a defense when he is running right into the pile on offense, and defensively, he is an absolute stud as well, the reigning City Defensive Player of the Year, and he might have a claim to that once again this season as well. Thank you for joining us tonight for the Vista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week. It is going to be a fantastic one. One last reset for you. Perry-Lecompton here in Topeka tonight. They are 6-0 on the season, 2-0 in district play. Coming off of a win last week over Osawatomie, 58-6. On the other side, the Hayden Wildcats, 5-1 on the year. Their lone loss back in week 2 to the Seaman Vikings. They have rattled off 4 wins in a row, including a 35-point victory over Santa Fe Trail last week. These two teams squared off twice in Perry last season. Perry-Lecompton won both by 1 point in overtime and by 8 points in the sub-state round of the playoffs. Bill Arnold said it's not a revenge game, but you have to understand that is on the mind of these Hayden Wildcats as they get ready for this huge battle tonight. 2 state championship contenders in Class 3A getting ready to square off at Hayden High School as senior kicker Skylar Specht for the Wildcats has the ball set up on the far hash at the 40-yard line. Hayden will be kicking from right to left toward the south end zone. Specht puts his right hand up in the air. We are about to get underway on tonight's edition of the Vista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week. Specht puts his right foot into it, sends it deep, caught at the 15-yard line by Perry-Lecompton. Cause returning it upfield. Great cutback by Dawson Williams on the return. Sprints past the 20-yard line, gets ushered out of bounds just beyond the 25 on the far sideline. And that is where the Cause offense, led by senior quarterback, former running back, Thad Metcalf, will take over. Ball officially spotted at the 26-yard line. Metcalf last week in the blowout win over Osawatomie didn't have to do a whole lot. 105 passing yards, 22 yards on the ground. Threw for a touchdown as well. Top 10 in Class 3A in the northeast quadrant of the state in rushing this season. As the Cause get on the ball here for 1st and 10. Ball near the far left hash, moving from left to right across your radio dial. They come out in a pistol spread, 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Tailback, rush in the backfield. Snap comes with some jet motion. It's a handoff on 1st down. They give right up the middle to Ryschen Rush, the junior tailback for the Cause. He plunges right into the pile for a gain of about 3 yards. setting up a 2nd down and 7 for the Cause. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Perry-Lecompton's offense. Up front from left to right, it's Sean Urban, Wesley Monahan, Cameron Jeter, Hayden Robb, the All-State player, and Jeremiah Monroe as your offensive line. Dawson Williams and Parker Stone, your starting outside receivers. Caden Quinlan in the slot. Hunter Hess, the H-back. And Ryshon Rush, we just mentioned, in as the tailback. Now 2nd down and 7, ball centered between the hashes. Perry gets ready. The snap comes to Metcalf. He looks over the middle of the field on a short drop. Now he has to scramble a little bit right. Throws it low for Parker Stone on a slant back over the middle. And he is not able to haul it in. A bit of a low throw by Metcalf. Kind of a jump pass there, Greg, and he couldn't get it to his target.
Yeah, he hesitated a little bit. He got in between where the pocket started to collapse. He got in between. It almost like he short-armed it. When you short-arm it, you tend to throw it low. And I think that was the case there. He felt that pressure coming at him, though. So it'll be 3rd down.
Metcalf 27-3. 40 or 30 for the Cause. After he represents a wing to the right. Takes a short drop in the gun again. Looks now, he's going to run forward. He's got a bunch of Hayden Wildcats right in front of him, and he's wrangled down to the ground at the 35-yard line. That's a gain of about 5-ish yards, and it will put Metcalf 1 yard shy of the line to gain for a first. No score here, a minute 12 gone in the first quarter, and the Perry-Lecompton offense is staying on the field.
An interesting call right out of the chute. I don't necessarily mind this, though, because being aggressive, and it may be one they try to draw them off sides, too.
Two great offenses, two great defenses going head-to-head. Ball now in the far left hash, 2 wide receivers, a running back, and a wing to the right. Metcalf in the gun, takes it, quarterback power, angles right, gets up to the 36, call it the 37, and a 1st down for Perry-Lecompton. Designed quarterback power off tackle right, and Metcalf, the 5'9", 170 diminutive quarterback, is able to pick up the 1st down. 10:16 to go here in the first.
Yeah, it was just hat on hat. A quarterback power like that, you just get that line, get that push. He take that off a right tackle and got enough to get the 1st down. So the big first play goes to Perry-Lecompton.
1st down and 10 for Perry. Parker Stone, the isolated receiver right. Dawson Williams, the one on the left. Caden Quinlan in the slot, comes in motion from left to right as the snap goes to Metcalf. It's an inside give to Rush, and Rush is met immediately in the backfield. It's Will DeVader, the reigning City Defensive Player of the Year, with a tackle for loss on 1st and 10.
Boy, their left guard, Wesley Monahan. Rush didn't do a real good job of following his pulling guard from the left side, and DeVader was able to plug the hole and get him because he was right behind Monahan, but no one there to get DeVader to get the tackle.
9:23 here on the clock in the opening period. No score. Perry-Lecompton on its first drive of the game has trips to the right. Metcalf, short drop. He looks deep. Now he's going to throw it out to the sideline. He's got an open man. It's Caden Quinlan just past midfield. A flag near the spot of the tackle up at the Hayden 41-yard line. An excellent throw that time by Metcalf. A little delayed up and out by Caden Quinlan, the slot receiver. And he's able to pick up big yardage on 1st down, or to gain the 1st down,
22 yards, but pass interference. Oh, against.
It's an offensive pass interference call against Perry-Lecompton. Caden Quinlan trying to plead his case, but it falls on deaf ears. And instead of a 1st down into Hayden territory, the Cause are backed up.
Well, maybe he got the 7 push off at the point where he broke off his pattern.
So take that ball from the 36-yard line where it was previously set after the 1-yard loss. That's going to back the Cause up quite a bit into their own territory. It's a 15-yard penalty in the high school ranks. So from the 36 back to the 21-yard line. 9:07 left here in the first quarter. Still no score. And a drive that was methodical but promising for Perry-Lecompton might have just been stunted with the penalty.
And so far, he's had fairly good protection as well. He had a pretty clean pocket to be able to throw the football. Now, let's see if they try to throw the football, maybe get a draw with such a big distance yet to go. 2nd and 25.
The wing, the H-back, Hunter Hess to the left, 1 wide receiver in that direction, 1 running back, 2 receivers to the right, ball centered between the hashes. Quarterback power on the snap to Metcalf, breaks through 1 tackle, and gets plastered at the 27-yard line. Coming up from the secondary, a huge hit. Jameer Garrett, who had a huge week last week, comes up, lays the wood, and is able to make the stop at the 27-yard line. So a third down and long now for the Cause. Got to get up to the 38. The mark to gain, in fact, right between the 37 and the 38-yard line.
See if they try to maybe bring a linebacker in with looks like a four-man rush.
Metcalf waits with an empty set. Takes the snap, dropping back, looking down the field. He's going to throw it over the middle, completes a pass to Parker Stone. He tries bouncing to the outside at the 40, and that is where he is swallowed up. Desmond Purnell is there. A correction on my end. It was the 48-yard line that was the line to gain. The 38 was the original line of scrimmage. So that catch by Parker Stone is going to move the ball up for Perry-Lecompton, just shy of the 40-yard line, but it's now a punting predicament for the Cause, and Hayden will likely take over.
Yeah, a little too far out that time. Once again, good protection, medium pattern that they were able to have, trying to get extra yardage after the catch, but not able to, short of the first down.
It's Parker Stone to punt it away. Low snap and a righty boot. A end-over-end line drive. It's muffed by Garrett at the 25-yard line for Hayden, but he's able to pick it up. Tries to run forward, and it's a gang of Perry-Lecompton coverage men who wrap him up and throw him down. Between the hashes, just a few inches beyond the 25-yard line. Now it is time for the Hayden offense to take over for the first time, and senior quarterback Johnny Holloway.
Yeah, now you're at a situation. How does Hayden approach this? I think giving the ball to Purnell right out of the chute, sometimes I like to start out with DeVader too. He's the one man behind Holloway in the backfield. Actually, two men in the backfield.
And now on first down, it's an inside give to Will DeVader up to the 32-yard line. Just a simple inside dive to the fullback, and he's got 7 yards plunging through the middle. Greg, you talked about it. He is an absolute load to manage, especially when he's got plenty of help up front from his offensive line, made up of Aiden Coulter, Joe Otting, and Clayton Stevenson, Tim Wells, and Ben Evans from left to right. We'll get you the skill position players in just a moment, but first, second down and 3 between the hashes for the Hayden offense. One wide receiver isolated to the right, Holloway in the gun. It's a handoff this time, sweeping outside. Desmond Purnell turns it upfield, gets to the 35, and steps out of bounds at the 39-yard line. A little shuffle step and a gain of 7 more yards again. Up to the 39, that's a first down for the Hayden Wildcats. You mentioned Purnell a bunch in the pregame. He is the standout offensive player for this team. 893 yards from scrimmage on the season, make it now an even 914 total offensive touchdowns. Jack Conradi and the fullback Will DeVader join him in the backfield. Tight end Trey Pivarnik and wide receiver Skylar Specht are the outside threats for the Hayden offense. Now first down and 10. It's another give inside. Conradi from the left wing gets tripped up as he lunges past the 40-yard line. Maybe got about a half a yard beyond that. And now we've got a timeout called on the field. And it is the head coach for Hayden, Bill Arnold, who went all the way out past the hash mark to talk to our white hat. And he is absolutely furious on the field. It's a gain of 2 on the first down carry, and Hayden uses a timeout. We will keep it here. A very strange scene. Bill Arnold, a passionate head coach, but Greg, he went sprinting out onto the field to yell at the refs.
And and quite frankly, he's lucky that they didn't flag him for that. Whatever he said his piece. I think smart by the official not to flag him, but that could have easily been done depending on what they say. Now he's pleading his case to the sideline official as well.
Try to get some Jake gets a word in with him. See what the complaint is about. But after the first timeout by the Wildcats, 6:23 on the clock here in the first quarter. No score. Hayden with its first possession of the game, facing a second down and 8. Wildcats have run the ball 3 times in their 3 plays on this drive and have gained 16 yards on those carries. Entering this second down and 8 play. Holloway goes under center. Wing heavy to the left. It's a sweeping hand up to Purnell. Bounces outside, has to go backwards to go forwards. Tries a stutter step, but he is going to gain at most a yard. He may have just barely gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, now the Hayden crowd not even happy. Bill Arnold not happy. because he thought it was a late hit out of bounds as well. Hayden Robb may have gotten him right on the sideline, and half yard. They actually almost give him a yard.
Jack Conradi will sub out Kalen Rice into the game, so a bit of a smaller, more spread out personnel grouping for Hayden, facing a 3rd down and 7. They gave Purnell credit for 1 yard on the carry. He's got 8 on this drive. 2 receivers to the right, Specht and Purnell, 1 to the left. That's Rice. Now the fullback Vader goes in motion right. Holloway takes the snap, throws it outside to Purnell, and Purnell has the play blown up back behind the 40-yard line. The bubble screen to Purnell was blown up immediately. It was the cornerback, Caden Quinlan for Perry, who blew that one up. 4th down coming for Hayden.
You talk about great job of scouting on what they're able to do on a loss of 7?
I believe they're going to officially mark a loss of 6 on the play.
Yeah, but boy, Quinlan was right there as soon as they saw that go, and we've seen that play before. He absolutely timed it. Oh, no. Actually, just a loss of 5.
So they'll move the ball up just a little bit. So call it a loss of 5 instead of 6. You're right, Greg, though. That play went for a touchdown against Manhattan earlier in the season. 5:22 to go in the first. Desmond Purnell on to punt it away. A slow delivery, gets the kick up. It's a bit of a shank. It actually lands in the visiting bench. A sidewinding kick off the right foot of Purnell. And Perry is going to get phenomenal field position to start its 2nd drive of the game. Our referee marked that this ball went out of bounds at the 47-yard line. So the shank by Purnell, who's been efficient kicking the ball away so far this year, averaging 35 yards a punt, didn't get anywhere near that time. 5:13 to go in the first. Perry takes over with its 2nd drive of the game. Ball at their own 47-yard line, 5:13 on the clock. Ball on the left hash as Perry moves from left to right. Thad Metcalf, the quarterback, in the gun. Hands off up the middle to Rice and Rush. Rush puts the shoulder down and gets met as he crosses midfield. Tackle made by Purnell coming up from his free safety spot from the 47 in minus territory to the 47 in plus territory. That's a gain of 6 for Rush.
Yeah, nice job on the right side of that line. Rob and Jeremiah Monroe, 220 and 300, open up a big hole for Rice and Rush.
2nd down and 4:44 on the clock here in the opening period. 2 wide receivers right, a wing and a receiver to the left. Metcalf waits for the snap in the gun. Now he gets motion. It's going to be a fake handoff, and Metcalf keeps it. He plows ahead, gets hit by Purnell again, but first he's able to gain enough yardage for a 1st down. Ben Evans comes in and chops Metcalf down for the tackle, but not before 1st down yardage. A gain of 6 on the carry by the quarterback, Metcalf.
Yeah, he had a big hole there as they open up that left side. Looks like the right side of that line so far has been the strength.
Cause going hurry up. Metcalf, 1st down, handoff to Rush, and Rush is pulled down in the backfield. Joe Otting, the sophomore defensive end, shoots into the backfield and makes the stop on Rush. He's dropped at the line of scrimmage. Almost a loss on the play, but he was able to dive through the initial attempt to get back to the mark.
Yeah, did a great job of absolutely blowing up that play.
Defense is reigning so far here in the first quarter. Under 4 minutes to play in the period. No score. Perry-Lecompton in Hayden territory. Metcalf gets motion from Quinlan from left to right. Metcalf claps his hands. Slight move to the left. It's a bubble screen to the outside. Dawson Williams makes the catch. Passes the 35. Gets through 1 tackle. Puts his shoulder into Purnell and gets past the 20-yard line on the far left sideline. 1st down, Perry-Lecompton. That time the bubble screen works for Perry, and it turns into a big gain up to the 17-yard line. 24 yards on the pass.
Boy, he absolutely trucked someone on the outside. Intense it is already, because we've seen a lot of big hits and a lot of very aggressive tackle teams.
This is a game See, we talked about the big games last season. This is one that matters to both of these teams as we get near the end of the 2020 regular season. Approaching 3 minutes to go in the first. Perry with the ball facing second and 14 from the Hayden 21. Metcalf in the gun, 2 receivers right. He looks that way on the snap, throws it outside for Quinlan, who is running the swing pass route from the slot, but the throw goes over his head and out of bounds. 3rd down and 14 now for the Cause, who are looking for the first score of this game with 2:56 on the clock.
You know, and it might have been the inexperience of Metcalf at quarterback on that lead, just trying to get it out there, just threw it way too strong on that lead. You can tell the zip that he had on it. That was going to be an issue of that pass getting completed.
Quinlan has been targeted multiple times here in this first quarter. He's now in the slot to the right. 1 wide receiver, Williams to the left. Parker Stone matched up with Quinlan on the right-hand side. Metcalf waits on 3rd down and 14. Fake handoff. He tries to run, gets hit in the backfield, breaks through 1 tackle. He won't break through another. Once again, it's J.C. Cummings, the linebacker, who makes the first contact. 4th down and long now for Perry. It's a gain of 2 for Metcalf. Could have been a loss of 2. Instead, he'll get a marginal gain. 4th down and 12 coming up for the Cause.
Yeah, this is, if you don't have a kicker, this is definite 4-down territory. But a long 4th down, 4th and 13.
Easton Elliott would be the field goal kicker if they attempted it, but this Perry team is going for it on 4th down and long. Ball in the far left hash, 2 receivers right, 1 left. Metcalf claps his hands. Short drop, looking for it all. Down the right sideline, goes for Parker Stone. Jump ball, and batted away. Skylar Specht, the senior cornerback, breaks up the play in the deep right corner of the end zone. Incomplete, and Hayden takes over on the turnover on downs. Phenomenal effort that time by Specht.
Yeah, great job by Specht. The ball started to wobble a bit as it got down there to Stone, and that gave Specht enough time to get back there and get in proper position to knock the ball away.
So 1st down and 10 now for Hayden. The Wildcats get the ball at their own 20-yard line. 2:11 to go in the first quarter. Second drive for the Wildcats. Ball centered between the hashes. Wing to the left on 1st down. It's a handoff to DeVader, and DeVader is met in the backfield. Junior Wesley Monahan, the nose tackle for Perry, shoots right through the left side of the Hayden line and forces the tackle for loss.
Well, I tell you what, those two, on the last punt that Hayden had, those two were going down. They were getting pretty aggressive on their blocking each other right there. So number 47 for Hayden, number 60 for Perry. They're going to be tonight.
Favorable spot for Hayden. They marked DeVader back at the original line of scrimmage. So 2nd down and 10, minute and a half to go in the first. 2 wide receivers right, 1. It's Kalen Rice to the left. Johnny Holloway takes a snap, short arm throw to Rice, who catches it at the 25, and he's going nowhere beyond that. Stone comes up from his corner spot, makes the ankle tackle on the tight end Rice. It's a gain of 5 yards, and will set up a 3rd down and 5 for Hayden.
Him out in the space, but Perry-Lecompton doing an outstanding job of closing quickly. In that case, it was Williams who closed quickly on Kalen Rice.
They bring out their wing T personnel as Jack Conrady comes back into the game. Kalen Rice heads to the bench. Conrady is the wing to the left. They actually go heavy left, and it's Purnell the wing right. Holloway, sweep toss play, gives it to Purnell, and Purnell doesn't have enough for the 1st down. He gains 4, had a nice dive at the end of the play to get an extra yard, but he's still a yard shy of the mark, maybe not even a full yard shy. In fact, they are actually going to measure the distance here. Another good spot for the Wildcats. 36 seconds to go in the first quarter.
I'd say about a half yard.
As we wait for the chain gang to get on the field.
It's just inside the 29, and I think they needed to get about the 29 and a half.
Getting ready to measure this one off. The original line of scrimmage was right on the 20, and I'm with you, Greg. I think this is just a little bit short. And it is, in fact, maybe a half a yard shy. You can count the number of chain link short it was on one hand. So with 36 seconds to go in the first quarter and the ball at the 29-yard line, and the Wildcats are facing a 4th down and inches.
And Brendan, here you go. Mike Paramore had a 4th and 1 on his own side of the football field. Here's Bill Arnold with the same situation.
Wildcats have the offense out on the field. They do punt with Purnell and a lot of the same offensive personnel, but the offense is huddling up. And now they'll approach the ball as the clock winds down, under 30 seconds to go in the first with no score.
And they may hold it, see if they can draw them off sides too.
No play clock visible here at Hayden. They are going for it. It's a give. DeVader crosses the 30, spins around one tackle, gets up to the 36-yard line. 4th down and 1, and it's a pickup of 7 yards for Will DeVader.
He is one of the things on that fullback, which they've used throughout the years, that's been a staple in Bill Arnold's offense, is they have someone who can take that load, has that low center of gravity, who can bounce off tackles like a Will DeVader. And boy, he got 1 yard, he got 7 to get the first down.
We're down to 2 seconds, down to 1 second, and that is going to end the first quarter of play. A defensive slugfest between the Perry-Lecompton Cause and the Hayden Wildcats. We're all tied at 0 after the opening period. We'll take a break, come back with the second quarter after this. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on 580 WIBW.
You like your burger medium well, your peanut butter crunchy,
Devader again, breaking the tackle, gets past midfield, and it's just ripped up as he Looking for somewhere to run, and he exploded up in the back of the dead, back across the field. A loss of 4 on the fly piece of Purnell. That technically qualifies as a pass, it goes forward. A trade, that is now, it has gone for 4 yards. Second down is 14 for the Wildcats. Holloway takes the hand off, rolls to the right, pressure comes, he avoids it, goes to the outside, gets back, takes the catch, sliding to his left at the 44-yard line. That's a gain of 7. Nice throw by Holloway, it's better catch by the center. No score with 4.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Already Perry-Lecompton territory, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Pull back to Vader, throws to the right. Holloway takes the snap, rolls right, looks back to the left, it's a throwback, and he's able to complete the Perry-Lecompton to the 30, to the 20. He's able to just barely not get a tackle from behind, and he's knocked down at the 15. 29 yards on the throwback to Perry-Lecompton. First down Wildcats, and there's a flag at the end of the play as well. And that is the call. Riley sees for the inside linebacker for Perry-Lecompton. Got the inside the collar of Jabarnik. So from the 15-yard line with that pass to goal. First down and goal now for the Wildcats. 4:09 to play in the first half. For their first score of the game. Ready, motions up to the left, Gator bounces up one. Tackle can't get off the second one. He drops it back to the open baby at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, short line for Perry-Lecompton comes up and a big nice play. Great to the option comes up for second ball duty. Tackle after no gain on the play. They like to run the ball, but they have passed. There's a lot of the line down and pass 5, 50 second up to Holloway, ball center to the half. Makes it set. Ball right, Holloway, look, goes underneath, looks at Barney, goes through his hand. Purnell was actually looking at the end zone, but it comes up short for him. So it's over the head of the short man, 2 short for the deep man, and it's complete instead of third down. Now the offense for the Wildcats is a third down and 6. That run earlier on drive by the Gator is 1 yard. 6 yards, I can play this place. Pocket for the 6. 2 by 6 step. Now the fullback Gator to the right. Snap, Holloway, looks for short. That's the ball picked. That's picked off. Hunter Hess with a defensive end off the deflection, and he returns it up to the 25-yard line. Jackson Paul was the one that took the football. He was coming in on the blitz. Time. He tried to get it over him. And then he threw the interception. Got it knocked in the air. Great job by Paul. A 4-minute, 12-second drive that went all the way down to the 6-yard line. Comes up empty for Hayden. And now Perry-Lecompton has a chance to score to the first half.
Example of it.
2:08 to play here in the first half. Clock continues to wind down near 2 minutes. Reich and Rush, the running back, flanking Metcalf to the right. Two wide receivers in the wide side direction as well. Metcalf, roll right. Pumps up in the air, gets a couple defenders in the air, tries to run back to his left. He dodges through a bunch of tackles and eventually is thrown to the ground at the 40-yard line. Metcalf could have been dropped for a loss about 3 different times on that play. Instead, he's able to gain a yard up to the 40-yard line with 1:40 to go in the first.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, he had to knife through a couple of 3 defenders, broke through 2 tackles, down to 90 seconds left to go first half. You're facing a 2nd and long, and you've got 2 timeouts remaining here, too, as well.
Coach Mike Paramore sending in the signals to his quarterback, Metcalf, who will now relay them to the line and his receivers.
By the way, not in a big hurry as far as time is concerned.
2 receivers and a wing to the right. That's the wide side of the field. Snap to Metcalf. He's looking in that direction. Now he's going to roll that way as Rayner brings pressure. Metcalf loads up, throws deep, and he's picked off. Skyler Beck at the 36-yard line, takes it out of the air, and he returns it across midfield. Both quarterbacks get intercepted on consecutive drives, and Hayden, with 58 seconds left in the second quarter, is in business at the Perry 47, and there's a penalty flag behind the play.
Boy, he threw it, but he threw it short. It was the right idea. Let's see what the call is, too.
We wait for the signal. Hayden's Desmond Purnell trying to talk to the officials about what the call is.
Targeting.
A blow to the head called against Hayden.
So it was after the interception, but, boy, that's big. Tack on 15 with 58.3 seconds left.
So they do get credit for the takeaway, which is a big plus, but instead of the 47 of Perry, Hayden gets it at its own 24-yard line with 58 seconds to play and a pair of timeouts.
So that had to have been on a block as well, because they would have had the football.
Penalty came right after Specht took it away. It was a good play in the air to adjust to it by the senior Specht, who's still out there as a wide receiver. Ball on the far left hash, 2 wings and a fullback in for Hayden. First down and 10. Holloway will give it up the middle to DeVader. Nothing going this time for the senior fullback. He's dropped in the backfield. First one off the pile for Perry-Lecompton is the All-State honorable mention, Sean Urban.
For the Wildcats, stopped by the middle of the Perry-Lecompton defense. Will bring it.
We tick down under 40 seconds to go in the first half. Hayden is in absolutely no hurry in a scoreless game. Now they get back to the line, facing a 2nd down and 11. Holloway under center. Hayden does still have 2 timeouts. We're down under 25 seconds. Holloway muffs the snap, but he picks it up. Now he rolls right, launching deep down the field for Purnell. Purnell tries to adjust, and it's just out of his reach near the sideline. Incomplete pass. Hayden went for it all there. Ball bounced down at about the 42-yard line of Perry-Lecompton. Now there are just 17 seconds to go in the opening half.
Yeah, Quinlan with the coverage, but he never looked back at the football. Boy, if that would have been in the right position, that would have given a big pass play right there. Now, 3rd down and 11 with 17.4 seconds left.
And significant to note that Perry-Lecompton has timeouts available.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to be careful here. Yardage would be the best option if they're able to move the ball forward at all. 17 seconds on the clock. 1 wide receiver split on either side of the formation, wing left. Holloway takes it. Short drop, throws to the outside for Purnell. Purnell makes the catch with one hand, and he's wrapped up. Who else? Hayden Quinlan, who has been an absolute menace on the outside, forces Purnell out of bounds back at the 23-yard line. That is another loss on a completed pass. And now with 12 seconds to go in the second quarter, Hayden is facing 4th down and long.
Desmond Purnell tonight, 4 receptions for -7 yards, and a lot of that courtesy of guess who? Hayden Quinlan.
He has been sensational. Back to return the punt is the quarterback for Perry-Lecompton, Metcalf. And the Cause didn't even need to use a timeout there because Purnell went out of bounds. And now we have a timeout that is called by Perry-Lecompton. We will take it with them. 12 seconds to go in the first half. No score between Hayden and Perry-Lecompton. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on 580 WIBW.
When the forgotten poor are
12 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Hayden facing a 4th down and 12 from its own 23-yard line. They're in punt formation. Now they bring the return man Metcalf up. Purnell takes the deep snap, waits, gets it away, nearly has it blocked. There's no one back to return, so it's just going to keep rolling inside the 30. Hayden bounce will take it inside the 25. The clock continues to roll, and it's blown dead with a 2.5 seconds on the clock at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, and I think the reason why Perry did that is because they were thinking maybe they were going to run a fake to be able to do that. And actually, they came awfully close to getting the block as far as the punt is concerned.
Nearly able to block it. Instead, with the roll, a 53-yard punt by Desmond Purnell. So Perry will take over at its own 24 with a 2.5 seconds. So it's either score on this play or we go into the break. Of course, a defensive penalty would extend the half for an untimed down as well. Perry is spreading it out here. They go 4 receivers to the wide side of the field. That's the right of the quarterback. 1 receiver, Dawson Williams, to the left. Metcalf in the gun. Takes it, and he's instead going to run the ball. Bounces it to the outside, gets past the 30, wrapped up and thrown out of bounds beyond the 35-yard line at the 38. It's a gain of 14. The clock expires, and that will do it for the first half here at Hayden High School. What a defensive showdown between the number 2 ranked Perry-Lecompton Cause, the number 3 ranked Hayden Wildcats. No score through the opening 24 minutes of play. Our Jake LeBon is down on the sideline, looking to get a conversation with the head coach of Perry-Lecompton, Mike Paramore, after his team pitches a shutout in the first half of this one. Let's go down to Jake LeBon with Mike Paramore of Perry.
Coach, your thoughts on the first half?
A heck of a ball game. 2 physical teams getting after it, looking to find something. Big turnover for us down there at the end. Love the way our guys are playing hard.
Defensively, what seems to be clicking for you guys right now?
I think it's what we always do. Our kids running the ball. They're physical. They're well schemed. They're ready to play tonight.
Offensively, what do you got to do to try to get things going in the second half?
They're off a good defense, and, yards are going to come at a premium. We just got to keep grinding and do what we do and see if we can get something to break for us.
Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
That is head coach Mike Paramore, guys.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Coach Paramore. And that's going to do it for the first half. We'll take a 2-minute break. When we come back on the other side of this timeout, we'll get to our post-game show, our halftime show coverage, pardon me. We'll get you a drive recap from the first half, break down the stats, and check out some other scores from around the area. That's up in 2 minutes. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on 580 WIBW.
With United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans, there's so much to take advantage of.
All right, so just to verify, we are not coming back with any highlights.
Here we will.
Plus, get free designer frames and free
that last
prescription
time out, we
lenses.
just had so little
It's
time
time
after
to
it
take
that
advantage.
Perry-Lecompton cause takes it away, but then just a few plays later, it was Hayden coming back and taking the ball away for themselves. As I mentioned, Skylar Specht, a big takeaway, and Hayden was able to quell a scoring attempt by Perry-Lecompton. Neither team able to finish anything off in the end zone or through the uprights to end the first half. That gives us our score at the break of nothing for Hayden and nothing for Perry-Lecompton. Now let's go to my partner, Greg Akagi, who has a statistical recap from the first half.
Well, the score, Brendan, 0-0. It shows in the stats how even this game is. Hayden, 14 rushes, 63 yards. And if you looked at the stats later, you're thinking, well, Holloway didn't have a bad game. 8 of 11 in the first half were just 30 yards and the one interception. So 25 total plays, 93 yards for Hayden. For Perry-Lecompton, 17 rushes, 49 yards. Thad Metcalf, 3 of 7 on the day, 48 yards and one interception. So 24 total plays and 97 yards of offense. So both under 100 yards of total offense in the first half. For Perry-Lecompton, Metcalf, 11 rushes, 46 yards on the night. Riken Rush, 5 carries for 12 yards. Metcalf, with those 3 completions, 48 yards. 2 of those completions to Parker Stone for 24 yards, and 1 reception for Dawson Williams, also for 24 yards. For Hayden, Will DeVader, 7 rushes, 45 yards. He's been their most successful back so far. Conrady, 1 rush for 2 yards. Desmond Purnell, though, 5 rushes for 16 yards on the night so far. As we mentioned, Holloway, 8 of 11 for 30 yards, but he's had 1, 2, 3, 4 of his completions have gone for negative yardage. Specht, 2 receptions for 2 yards. Pavarnik, he's had the 1 big reception for 29 yards. Desmond Purnell, 4 receptions for -7 yards. And Kalen Rice, 1 reception for 5 yards. A lot of great games tonight. First off, the war on 24, and we're going to see some big scores here. Second quarter, Rossville 26, Silver Lake 21 so far tonight. Another game, end of the first quarter, Baldwin leading Santa Fe Trail 7-0.
Significant for District 3, which both Hayden and Perry-Lecompton are in Class 3A.
Yep, absolutely. Holton leading Rock Creek 34-0. That game in the second quarter, about 2/3 of the way through the second quarter overall. Looking at some other scores, Tonganoxie leading Shawnee Mission East. That's a 4A school going up against a 6A school. That was a, hey, can we schedule you type of game. They're leading 21-0. Baser Linwood leading Lansing 19-13. Eudora and Paola are tied at 14. Centralia right now beating Linden 22-14. Of course, looking for some other scores.
That's a very good 1A matchup right there.
Yeah. And big game down in South Central Kansas. Derby leading Mays 21-12. DeSoto and Leavenworth are tied at 14. Second quarter, Junction City leading Emporia 21-0. Riley County, second quarter, leading Concordia 21-3. And second quarter, Burlingame leading Maranatha 24-0. Mission Valley shutting out McLeod 20-0. That game in the second quarter. Mara Hill, Atchison Mara Hill beating St. Mary's 15-0. That game also in the second quarter. Also a big 6A game tonight at Lawrence High, as they're beating Olathe North 7-0. That's number 1 going up against number 3. Of course, Free State still not playing, second week in a row, because they're still on their quarantine. So hopefully, cross the fingers, they'll play the Battle of Lawrence next week at Free State, Lawrence High, and Free State. So that's just a few of the scores that we have. What a game we're having here tonight. Scoreless game here in the first half.
It's been a tremendous one so far. We'll come back after this timeout with some keys to the second half. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on 580 WIBW. A wing to the right, that's the wide side of the field. Snap to Metcalf, he's looking in that direction. Now he's going to roll that way as Rayner brings pressure. Metcalf loads up, throws deep, and he's picked off! Skylar Specht at the 36-yard line, takes it out of the air, and he returns it across midfield. Both quarterbacks get intercepted on consecutive drives, and Hayden, with 58 seconds left in the second quarter, is in business at the Perry 47, and there's a penalty flag behind the play. And that penalty flag would effectively kill that drive for the Wildcats. A hit to the head that was going to knock a ton of yardage off the return, but still, defenses reigned in the first half of our Invista Credit Union 580 Preps game of the week. 0 for Hayden, 0 for Perry-Lecompton at halftime. Craig Akagi, let's get to some keys to the second half of this one. And I have a feeling it has something to do with the offenses actually moving the ball in the next 24 minutes.
Yeah, that's going to be huge, gigantic,
Mammoth.
You don't want to say, but it might be. First thing that team that scores wins at the pace we are going as well. Because let's put it this way. I don't anticipate either one of these teams winning the game in the air. I think it's going to be ground. I think for Perry-Lecompton, Mike Paramore has to be thrilled on how his defense has been playing. They have been stout. They have had him well scouted. I think the biggest examples there is what Quinlan has been able to do, just absolutely destroying the screens to the outside.
I believe it is 4 times that we had in the first half. Caden Quinlan, the cornerback, comes up and makes a play for a loss on a bubble screen.
Now, flip that around. You know, the same thing can be said about what we're seeing on this Hayden defense. They have been just as stout. So I think it's going to be, all right, who can get the big break? Who can get the long run? You had the one long pass to Trey Pavarnik, but then they threw an interception, so it really went for naught. And you really haven't had a big play as of yet. You've had, I think, one play over 20 yards for Perry-Lecompton. So I think that's going to be a big thing. Can Metcalf get loose on a run? Can he get a long pass to, either Williams or Stone to knock off a long run? Can Reich and Rush be able to do the same? And right now, for Hayden, they got to get Desmond Purnell going in some sort of fashion. He has just not been able to. They have been able to bottle him up throughout this entire first half.
And I think it speaks to how good these defenses are, Greg. When you look at the scoring per game averages for these two teams, Hayden averages 42 points per game over the course of this year. They've scored 40 in 5 of their 6 games. And in their last 2, the 2 district games, averaging 46 a game. You look on the other side for Perry-Lecompton, in their 2 district games so far, they've averaged over 64 points a game, including a 71-0 win over Bishop Ward, averaging 50 per game on the season. It's somewhat incredible what they have been able to do defensively, these two teams, to give us our 0-0 score at the half tonight. We'll take one more time out, come back with the second half. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on 580 WIBW.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast.
The job is so
plays, Greg, that really picked up any chunks of yardage in the first half. A 24-yarder for Perry, a 29-yarder for Hayden. Let's go down to the field and Bill Arnold with Jake Lamont.
Coach, your thoughts on the first half?
Man, how many times we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot? Stupid mistakes. Kids are playing hard, just not playing smart right now. Hopefully we got some adjustments made and see what happens here.
Offensively, what are you trying to have to do the second half?
We got to get our guys out in space and let them run.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
That is head coach Bill Arnold, guys.
In a nutshell, Brendan, yeah, that's pretty simple, but he's exactly right. In a nutshell, not being able to get Desmond Purnell out into any space has been huge in this game.
Well, and he mentions mistakes too, and I think that was such a big part of that first half. You have the interception by Skylar Speck. It looks like Hayden will get the ball in plus territory. Instead, they get moved back to their own 24. You're at the 6-yard line with a 3rd and goal. A tipped ball ends up getting picked off and returned the other way for Perry-Lecompton. You shore those things up, it's a completely different game for the Hayden Wildcats.
Yeah, absolutely. Offensively, shoring up those mistakes, yes. Really changing your philosophy on offense, no, I don't think you have to. I don't think you can sit there and say, Holloway, you need to throw the ball more. I think you get it to the guys that you need to. That being, of course, Desmond Purnell and DeVader, and let them create in space, and Holloway throw occasionally to keep them honest so they're not putting 7, 8 in the box to be able to try to stop the run if Hayden is able to get the run established. Right now, this Hawks defense is not allowing them to do that.
Hayden Robb, the all-state offensive lineman, is also the long-distance place kicker for Perry-Lecompton, getting ready for his first kick of the game. It's only the second kick period in this one. The first was the opening kick.
He is old school straight on.
He's marking off the kick from directly 4 yards behind the 40-yard line. Desmond Purnell, the deep man, to return for Hayden. At the south end zone, Robb approaches, end-over-end kick. It's a short one, caught by Jaden Rayner, who tossed it back to Purnell at the 15. Now he tries bouncing to the right sideline, gets out near the sideline, past the numbers, and he's thrown down to the ground at the 24-yard line. Pardon me, the 29-yard line. Tackle made at that time by the Perry coverage men. Christian Conklin in making the stop. Had some help from Gunnar Ball. And the Hayden Wildcats will start this second half. Ball at their own 29-yard line, just 7 seconds off the clock on that kick return here in the third.
So let's see what they want to do. What adjustments did Bill Arnold make coming out here to start the second half?
First down, it's an inside give to the fullback, Will DeVader, who had a big first half and a big gain on first down and 10, carrying defenders with him up to the 43-yard line. A gain of 14 on the inside dive on first down.
That's a good start right there. DeVader had success going over that left side of the line. Otting and Coulter open up the hole.
Big gain for DeVader. His third run of the game already of at least 14 yards. First down and 10 for the Wildcats from the 43-yard line, moving from left to right as you listen. Ball on the near side right hash. Desmond Purnell goes in motion. Perry wanted a flag. Cause won't get one. First down handoff to DeVader. He goes up the middle. This time he doesn't have much room to run. He gets up to the 46-yard line. DeVader plunges ahead. That's a gain of 3 yards, so a second down and 7 coming up for the Wildcats.
Yeah,
Still no score in this one.
Referee missed that. DeVader actually jumped a little bit in his three-point stance, so that was an obvious miss right there on a legal procedure.
It was the defensive end, Hess, who was putting his hand up in the air, signaling that a flag should have come in. He doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, though. Second down and 7, just a minute 7 off the clock in the third quarter. No score. Holloway under center, DeVader right behind him. Holloway, sweep handoff, going to the left, it's Purnell. Purnell now cuts it back upfield, passes midfield, drags defenders with him all the way to the 47-yard line. That's a gain of 7 yards and maybe a half a yard shy of the line to gain. Nose of the ball is at the 47. The marker is between the 46 and 47. Third down and inches now for Hayden.
Yeah, he drug a couple of defenders there, so you're seeing a little more purposeful running by Desmond Purnell going off the quick snap.
An inside give on third down and short. Will DeVader dives ahead, and he's got the first down up to the 42-yard line. Call it 5 yards and a first for Hayden. Quick snap that time. Holloway calls for it, gives to his fullback, and it's a pickup for a first down.
Yeah, for tempo, for what Hayden does, it's not necessarily getting up to the line quickly, but they'll go on quick snap counts when you can see them starting to get into their tempo as far as their offense is concerned.
2 minutes gone in the third quarter, no score, but Hayden into plus territory with a first down and 10. 2 wings in and the fullback. Big sweep to Purnell. Holloway rolls to the right. Looking downfield. Pressure comes. Throws underneath. He's picked off again at the 35-yard line, and he steps out at the 39. Caden Quinlan continues his unbelievable game for the Perry defense. And Johnny Holloway picked for the second time tonight.
Boy, Jake LeBon, he got lured in, and boy, Quinlan once again another outstanding play for the corner.
Yeah, very simple stuff there. Is you could almost not even see the guy. There was a lot of congestion here on the sideline, and it looked like Holloway just threw it hoping that his man would be there, but that was an easy interception for the Perry-Lecompton cause, and boy, he just barely stepped out with his left foot. Otherwise, they would have been at least 20 yards in field position, but that was one of those things. That was more of a hope and a prayer than it looked like he was actually trying to throw it to the guy that he thought would be there.
Holloway forcing the ball down the sideline results in his second pick of the night. 9:47 to go in the third quarter. Still no score after the second turnover by the Hayden Wildcats. Now Perry takes over its first possession of the second half. Ball in the near side left hash. 3 receivers and a wing to the field side of the play. Dawson Williams, the only receiver to the left. Metcalf in the gun. Looks to his right, barks out his signals. Claps his hands once, gets a low snap. Fakes a look to the right, and he gets blasted in the backfield. What a play! Jameer Garrett, the outside linebacker, found a hole on the left side of the line, lays the wood on the quarterback Metcalf for a loss on the play.
Loss of 4. Went on a delayed blitz, but found it was wide open. And by the time Metcalf looked up, he was looking to the right and he looked to the left. He saw big number 4 just bearing down on him for the loss.
Jameer Garrett came into this game with 35 tackles on the season. He's added a handful so far in this one. Second down and 14 now for the Cause. Ball still on the near hash. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Metcalf takes a snap, short drop, looks to the right, throws in that direction, completes it to his receiver. That's Caden Quinlan, who slips down at the 35-yard line for no gain. Quinlan had to turn back to the inside to catch the ball behind him, slid down, and ends up gaining no yardage. 3rd and 14 for Perry-Lecompton.
Yeah, that was on the money. He had at least 5 or 6 yards where no Hayden defender was near him, but when he slipped, he went straight down.
8:35 to go in the third quarter. Perry switches from left hash to right, facing a 3rd down and 14 with 8:30 to go in the period. Now 2 receivers left, including Quinlan in the slot. Williams outside. Metcalf claps his hands. No drop this time from the gun. Throws over the middle, completes the pass. His H-back, Hunter Hess, up to the 40 of Hayden, past the 35, and eventually he's bottled up deep into Wildcats territory. Hess runs a slant from the left side of the line across the formation, is wide open in the middle of the field, and a big gain for the Cause.
31 yards on the play. Beautiful pass. Got it in between the zone there. That's what you love. Just finding that open area, and he was wide open. Almost threw it a little too high, but Hess able to come down with it for the big first down. Biggest play of the night for the Perry-Lecompton offense.
First down and 10 for Perry at the 34. Metcalf takes the snap in the gun, hands it off to Riken Rush, who runs up the middle. Gains maybe a half a yard on the first down carry. 2nd and long coming up for the Cause. Hunter Hess on that last big play, Greg, you mentioned it, just was able to get his hands on the ball. It was a little high. Hess stands at just 5'11", but has a great wingspan that helped him haul that pass in to pick up the big gain. 7.5 minutes on the clock. Ball on the far side, right hash. Dawson Williams, the only receiver isolated to the field side of the play left. Bunch with a wing and 2 receivers right. Metcalf, short drop in the gun. Throws it to the outside, completes it on 2nd down and 9, but nothing doing on the play. Right back to the line of scrimmage. Ball caught on the outside by Jackson Folks, his first catch of the game.
Metcalf's pass was caught by Jackson Folks for Perry-Lecompton. Will bring up 3rd down and 10.
Second time in this 5-play drive that Metcalf has completed a pass for 0 yards. Earlier on, though, he followed it up with a 31-yard gain through the air. 3 receivers line up on the left side of the formation. That's the wide side of the field. 2 in a stack to the right. Empty set for Metcalf. He waits, claps his hands, takes a short drop in the gun. Pressure comes up the middle. Tries bouncing to his left. Throws underneath. He's able to complete the pass up to the 30-yard line. Ball caught by Rush, his tailback at the 30. That's a gain of about 4 yards, so still short of the line to gain. And it's now 4th and 6 for Perry-Lecompton in this scoreless game. Nearly half of the third quarter gone already.
Yeah, you got options there. You got a big pass to Hess. You throw one to Reich and Rush. Jackson Folks on this drive. Parker, Stone, and Williams had 3 catches between them in the first half with a lot of yards after catch as well.
Metcalf 4 for 4, 35 yards on this drive. 5:50 on the clock in the third. 4th down and 6 on the near left hash. 2 receivers right. Metcalf takes the snap, rolls in that direction. Now he stops, looks back over the middle, throws for Quinlan. He's picked again! It's Skylar Specht again! Stumbles a little, races to the sideline, and he's out of bounds just before the 25! Skylar Specht, what a game for the senior defensive back. Hayden with another takeaway. 5:33 to go in the third.
Jake LeBon throwing it to a spot. I think a key there. And once again, another mistake by the quarterback. 2 interceptions for each.
One of those things where it's just simply underthrowing it. Pretty much every quarterback today has underthrown their guy. I don't mind that throw at all because you're throwing it to the end zone. It's 4th down. You might as well try it. But it was underthrown by 5 yards. Just didn't get it quite enough on. A good pass rush by Hayden. And again, what offense is going to get the big play? I don't think you're going to see a defense give up a long touchdown drive. I think it's going to come down to who gets the big play.
We've got a Wildcat formation for the Wildcats. Purnell behind center. Takes the shotgun snap. Fakes the handoff. He'll run to the left. Hayden trying to get Purnell going any way that they can. And it's a 7-yard gain for Purnell. Angling to the left and reaching the 31-yard line with a dive. Matches the longest run of the game for the senior Purnell.
7 rushes, 29 yards. Actually, they're gonna go with it again as Purnell came over to get the play in from Bill Arnold.
You remember the last drive for the Wildcats, Johnny Holloway forced a ball to the near sideline and was picked off for the second time on the game. Ball at the 31 as Purnell has a 2x2 receiver set, tight end left. Now he gets motion from his fullback, DeVader. DeVader will take the sweep handoff going to the right, and he gets met at the 33-yard line. Hayden Robb, the All-State linebacker, comes up, makes the hit. 3rd and short now coming up for Hayden. 4:35 left in the third quarter.
Mercy me, you can hear that one up here. Hayden Robb with a big hit on DeVader. And now, once again,
it's officially 3rd down and less than a yard. Holloway back in the game under center. Hands to DeVader. Met at the point of attack. He's close. Sean Urban made the initial contact, and it looks like the mark is enough by about a half a yard. They will give DeVader up to the 40 or the 35-yard line, tail of the ball at the 35. That's enough for a first down by a good 18 inches.
12 carries, 70 yards by DeVader tonight.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats, and once again it's Purnell in the Wildcat gun. 3 receivers right. That includes the fullback DeVader, who now comes in motion. Purnell fakes to him. There's a flag on the play, possibly for procedure, as Purnell bounces to the outside. Another flag behind the play as Purnell gets banged out at the 37-yard line.
Well, I think this is going to be 2 separate penalties. I think they're going to get a procedure call against Hayden. I don't know about the second one, though.
It was Dawson Williams, the bandit hybrid linebacker, who was back behind the play, who ended up on the ground. It's an illegal shift.
And pass interference.
I believe that's a block in the back call.
Okay.
Using the same signal. So the illegal
bigger penalty.
Yeah, the illegal shift will be declined, and the block in the back will move the Wildcats way back deep into their own territory.
Yeah, that time he went like this with the hand holding the one to say illegal block in the back, because that's the one he did just like it was OPI.
So with 3:53 to go in the third quarter, a scoreless game between Hayden and Perry-Lecompton. The ball is marked back at the 23-yard line. A big loss that time. So Hayden comes out, Purnell behind center again. Motion from DeVader going toward the left. Purnell keeps it, looks for a block, spins through an ankle tackle, gets wrapped up and thrown down as he passes the 25-yard line. A whole pile of bodies for both teams get off of Purnell. Bottom of the pile that time, Brayton Leochner for Perry-Lecompton. Credit him with the stop. Ball marked at the 28-yard line. So a gain of 6 that time on first down and long.
And in this case, now Holloway back in. 2nd and 16, so definitely more of a passing down here for the Wildcats.
Almost a long 16, nearly 17 yards. Line to gain is just beyond the 45-yard line. 2nd down for Hayden. Snap to Holloway. It was going to be a sprint boot to the left. And we've got a timeout called by Hayden. Bill Arnold is fired up at his team. We will take the timeout with both teams. No score, 2:58 to go in the third quarter. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on 580 WIBW.
With United Healthcare Medicare Advantage.
Hey guys, real quick, please, for the love of God, Brendan, Greg, Marco, or Jake, has anybody taken some keys they did not mean to take? Like grabbed a pair they thought were theirs, but isn't?
That's AdvantageWow.com.
No, not me. Jake says no. No.
Marco?
Wow. Upgrade to the wiper blades trusted by Rainer Zietlow to break world records. Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades are real-world proven for extreme weather performance that lasts 2 times longer than other blades. The new Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades are only available at Walmart.
Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Super
Yeah, Jake.
the concentrated cleaner that's perfect for making your auto,
Great.
boating, and other sporting equipment look like new again.
Anybody?
No. 2:58 to go in the third quarter on our Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you up above the field. Hayden facing a 2nd down and 16, just used its first time out of the second half. Johnny Holloway, the quarterback, back into the game, thrown 2 picks in this scoreless matchup. Will DeVader, the fullback behind him. Now he'll motion out to the right. Ball centered between the hashes. Holloway, the bubble screen outside, completes to Purnell. Positive yardage this time. Gets past the 35 and is knocked out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, and here's what they did that was different. They motioned DeVader out to the right this time, Brendan. But guess who he was blocking? Quinlan.
Caden Quinlan has been absolutely sensational for Perry-Lecompton in this game. He has an interception, a ton of tackles. That time they put extra attention on him. And a good gain by Desmond Purnell. Pickup of 8 to the 37-yard line. The line to gain just a few inches past the 45. So call it now 3rd down and 8 for the Wildcats. Kalen Rice, tight end to the left, isolated there. 2 receivers right, including Purnell and Specht. DeVader now will motion in that direction as well. Holloway, roll to the right. Pressure comes. He has to keep rolling. He's turning up near the line of scrimmage. Throws to the sideline. Caught by Purnell. He puts 1 foot down. Hayden says catch. Perry-Lecompton says incomplete. And the referees will have to negotiate. Not sure if Purnell was able to get his right foot down inside the chalk. Officials talking. Further discussing. And they are going to credit Hayden with the catch. Greg, that was a really close call at the 41-yard line.
Really, really close call.
Gain of 21 on the play.
Great scramble coming out of the blitz, though, by Holloway. He was able to buy time, which is what they needed to do, and found that open player, in this case Purnell, for the big gain. Boy, this is a swing momentum right here, where they had it 3rd and long. They get the big first down, but now for Hayden, can they maintain it?
Purnell will go behind center. The Wildcat offense for the Hayden Wildcats. 2:46 on the clock in the third with no score. DeVader comes in motion. Purnell fakes to him, will follow him, going to the left. Pressure comes up, tries to bounce outside. He's not able to do so! Parker Stone in the backfield. Drops Purnell back almost at midfield. It's the 48-yard line, a loss of 7 on the sweep by Purnell.
Boy, they do a great job not watching his feet, watching his hips, where his hips go. You always watch the hips, and he's able to get there. They have done a great job of not letting him get to the outside, not letting him juke, not letting him get away, get into space like that, and a great play there by Parker Stone.
The quarterback, Holloway, back onto the field. He's been splitting time on this drive. 2:05 on the clock. Hayden facing a Second down and 17 from its own, or from the plus 48-yard line. Holloway in the gun, bunch to the right. Quick toss out to Purnell. Purnell gets hit in the backfield, turns it up, is able to get beyond the line of scrimmage by about 2 yards. So third down and 15 now for the Wildcats. They're doing everything they can to get the ball to Purnell with room to run, but the Perry-Lecompton defense has done a great job rallying to the ball.
That is the 7th reception for Purnell, but for just 25 yards on the night. They have tried anything, especially here in this third quarter, to get him or to have him have the football.
Minute 22 on the clock in the third. Holloway in the gun, bunch to the right. Most of them set up to block. Throwback. DeVader's got it at the 35. Bounces left. Gets tripped up as he passes the 40-yard line to the 39. A gain of 7, but that will leave the Wildcats 8 yards shy of the mark with a fourth down coming as we hit the 1-minute mark in the third quarter.
Well, it's a great tackle by Folks, because if he doesn't, DeVader has plenty of room and more than likely would have gotten the first down, but definite 4-down territory right here.
Holloway in the game. Ball at the 39-yard line. No score with under 40 seconds to play in the third quarter. 2 receivers lined up to the right, 2 to the left. DeVader in the backfield. Now motion comes from Purnell from left to right. Holloway, short drop and roll right. Throws it underneath. Purnell is able to catch it at the 36, but that's a gain of just 3 yards on 4th and 8. A turnover on downs by the Hayden offense. Perry-Lecompton takes over.
And boy, oh boy, we said, can they maintain that momentum off converting that 3rd and long? They're not able to. They got pressure on him. They closed quickly on Purnell where he couldn't turn and get up the field and try and get the first down. So they keep it and get it back and get the first, and we'll have it on first down.
5 minutes and 9 seconds, 10 plays. And Hayden cannot cash in. We remain scoreless with 24 seconds to go in the third. The Perry-Lecompton offense comes out on the field for just its second possession in the second half. Ball control, the name of the game for these offenses at this point. Metcalf in the gun, rush to his left, 2 receivers in that direction as well. Metcalf takes it, quarterback power, angles left, gets up to the 39-yard line, a gain of 3 for Metcalf. Some extracurriculars behind the play. Way back in the secondary, Vicario triplet starting corner for Hayden. Threw Dawson Williams to the ground after the whistle, but no flag on the play as the final seconds tick off the clock in the third quarter. That means it's time to put your 4 fingers up in the air. The fourth quarter is coming up next. Hayden 0, Perry-Lecompton 0. A battle of top 5 teams in Class 3A continues next. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on 580 WIBW.
Found my keys. All good.
Hey, good stuff.
Right? Make your move.
Were they right where you left them?
No, they actually flew out of my pocket when I was running down to get to the refrigerator downstairs. Apparently they flew out of my jacket pocket and they were just on the floor in a really weird spot, but they are located.
Hey, as long as you got it now.
It's not rocket science.
Dude, I was so pumped. This game's going so quick, but now I'm just like, oh, for the love of God, somebody score some points, dude.
How about we?
3-0, I'll take it. Actually, they probably won't kick any field goals, will they?
No, I would not expect a field goal tonight.
Shit.
50. It's easy to use and easy to find people who love doing the same things you do. From gardening to wine tasting to just going for a bike ride. Because even doing the simple things are better.
Yeah, I'm back.
Start for free today on ourtime.com.
Welcome back to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you upstairs. Jake Laban, our sideline reporter. Marco Marquez, our video operator tonight. And Britt Zweigert, our board op back at the Alpha Media Studios on Huntoon Hill. We start the fourth quarter with no score. Perry-Lecompton with the ball, now moving from left to right across your radio dial. It has been a defensive battle between these two teams this evening. Most recently ending with Perry-Lecompton forcing a Hayden turnover on downs. And now the Cause face a second down and a long 6 from their own 39-yard line. Quarterback Thad Metcalf in the gun. He's got a wing and 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. That's the right side. Ball's on the far left hash. Metcalf claps his hands, fakes a look to the right, now will run off to the left. Nearly loses the ball, is able to pull it back in with his elbow, and is thrown down to the ground at about the 43-yard line. A short gain that time by Metcalf, the converted running back who has had to take over after the torn ACL for former starting quarterback for Perry, Billy Welch, and has played admirably in the last couple of weeks. And now he's got his team facing a 3rd down and 3, just over 30 seconds gone in the fourth quarter. Same formation with a wing and 3 receivers to the field side of the play. 1 single receiver, Dawson Williams, short side left. Metcalf takes the snap, throws it to Williams on the outside. He's got 1 blocker in front of him, draws some contact with Triplett as he crosses midfield with a first down. A little toss play to the left side. Dawson Williams turns on the Jets, lowers the shoulder, and gets a first down at the midfield stripe.
Pass was complete to Dawson Williams.
First down and 10 now for Perry-Lecompton, and once again some extracurriculars after the play, some downfield blocking after the whistle. No flags thrown. The officials letting the boys play tonight.
This has been hard fought. Both sides. You've seen blocking go well after the play, but that's been both sides tonight. They've been hard hitting, well blocked, well played defensive game.
11-12 on the clock in the fourth quarter. Metcalf in the gun, rush to his left. Metcalf fakes a handoff. He'll run it up in the middle instead. Gets past the 45, gets down near the 40-yard line. Metcalf leaping over a body down on the ground. Gains 9.5 yards on 1st and 10. Just a few inches shy of the line to gain. 2nd and short for the Cause coming up on the far sideline.
15 carries, 58 yards on the night so far for Metcalf. Perry-Lecompton, 131 yards of total offense after 3 quarters. Hayden, 171 yards of total offense after 3 quarters.
Metcalf now just shy of 650 rushing yards on the season. Comes out on 2nd down and 1, 10.5 to play. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Snap to Metcalf. Another quarterback power right up the middle. Gets through a hole, passes the 35, and gets down to the 32-yard line. Back-to-back carries of 9 yards for the quarterback Metcalf, and the Cause are in business well into Hayden territory now.
Yeah, going over that left side of the line once again, Sean Urban, Wesley Monahan, but boy, you can tell for Mike Paramore where he wants the football. He wants it right into Thad Metcalf's hands.
Urban, an all-state honorable mention in 2019, having a big game tonight, leading the way for the Perry ground attack. First down and 10, 2 minutes off the clock in the final period in a scoreless game. Metcalf waits for the snap, gets some motion from Caden Quinlan. The misdirection opens up a hole for Reich and Rush, right up the middle, carrying defenders with him inside the 25-yard line. Another big gain on first down for the Cause offense on the ground.
Boy, you're not kidding. That misdirection opened up the hole once again, and once again is the left side of the line, going with Urban, Monahan, Jeter at center.
Another gain of 9 yards. 3 straight carries of 9 yards for Perry-Lecompton. Metcalf, and then Rush. 2nd down and 1 for the Cause. Ball still on the far left hash. 1 wide receiver to the wide side right. That's Parker Stone. 2 receivers to the left, including Quinlan in the slot. Metcalf now gets motion from Quinlan, hands it off up the middle to Reich and Rush again, gets through an ankle tackle and takes a shot right at the 15-yard line, but it's enough for 8 yards and a first down for Perry.
Boy, Wesley Monahan, that left guard, punishing block, just straight on blocking, and he had his defensive man 2 yards already driven back by the time Rush got through the hole.
The next play for Perry-Lecompton on this drive will match their longest drive of the game at 8 plays, and on the last 4, they've gained 35 all on the ground. 8:50 to play, no score, Perry-Lecompton threatening. Knows the ball at the 15-yard line, first down and 10. Snap to Metcalf. Metcalf fakes a handoff, bounces outside to the left, and he gets wrapped up and brought down to the ground. Jaden Rayner, the strong side defensive end, who's already got a big 9-yard sack in this game, makes a stop just a little beyond the line of scrimmage. 2nd and long coming up for Perry-Lecompton.
Yeah, they closed that time much, much better. This time went with the fake, and then Metcalf took the football.
Now on 2nd down and long, 2 wide receivers to the right, running back and a wing in that direction as well. Williams alone to the short side left. Metcalf waits for the snap, takes it, shallow drop in the pocket, looking, gets wrapped up from behind and thrown down for a sack. Ben Evans comes up and makes the play. The sophomore nose guard, 6'2", 250, records his second sack of the year.
Boy, once again, too,
Down at 15 for Perry-Lecompton.
he's looking through his checkdowns, but didn't see the pressure once again, and Evans able to wrangle him up for a big loss. Now, huge play right here, 3rd and 15. Perry-Lecompton can get a first down at the Hayden 5.
They come out with Metcalf again in the gun. Rush the tailback and a wing to the right. 2 receivers to the wide side right as well. Metcalf takes a low snap, stays in the pocket, looks deep to the left, throws to the goal line. It's picked off again. Vicario triplet for Hayden. He just gets it out of the end zone, and the Wildcats will take over, but inside their own 2-yard line. Metcalf throws his 3rd interception of the game, and the Wildcats take over with 7:10 to play. Still no score in this 3A showdown.
Yeah, still no score. Once again, an issue there. Trying to throw it quick, trying to throw it in a certain area, but not able to. Hayden able to get the interception, but now they got to go 97 yards.
Yeah, they will give Hayden to the 3 on first down. It's a handoff up the middle for the Wildcats to get a little breathing room, and they're able to do that up to the 5. Will DeVader with a gain of 2. Hayden trying to get the first points of this game. Greg said it earlier in this second half. It might be first score wins, and in a scoreless game with 6:45 to play, that is looking more and more likely. Perry-Lecompton just turned it over for the 3rd time on the game. Now Hayden breaks their huddle. 6:35 to go in this one. Motion from Jack Conradi from left to right. Holloway gives it off up the middle. DeVader again. DeVader trudging along up just past the 8 to the 9-yard line. So a decent gain again up to the 9. It's a pickup of 4. 3rd down and 4 now facing the Wildcats as the clock continues to run just about halfway through the 4th. Johnny Holloway, the senior quarterback, has not had his best game. No touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. Multiple completions that have gone for a loss of yards. But he's got a big moment here. He's under center on 3rd down and short. Once again, handoff up the middle. DeVader carrying guys with him. Gets past the 15-yard line. First down, Wildcats, and a pickup of 6.
DeVader again, the ball carrier for the Wildcats.
That's a pretty simple formula right now to give them a little more breathing room. That's a nice security blanket to have in Will DeVader, as he's gotten them out of close to their own goal line up to the 16.
Skylar Speck, the lone wide receiver, to the wide side left as Holloway goes back under center with a wing to the left. Purnell sweeping on a handoff from left to right, gets past the line of scrimmage, past the 20, and is eventually bottled up by the Perry-Lecompton defense at the 22-yard line. A pickup of 6 on first down for Purnell, who has finally started to move the ball down the field a little bit more in this second half.
Yeah, that was his 5th rush of the second half, and he had 4 receptions in the 3rd quarter alone. So you can see where Bill Arnold's emphasis has been in this second half.
2nd down and 4 for the Wildcats, under 5 to play. Holloway takes it, hands it off up the middle. DeVader gets tripped up as he passes the 25. His elbow goes down just beyond that mark. Good job up front that time to make the stop. Wesley Monahan, the nose tackle, was able to get in low on DeVader to make the stop. 3rd down and short now for Hayden. Man, we've actually got a whistle and an official timeout for a measurement. The ball is just past the 25-yard line, nose of it at about the 26. Second measurement of the game coming up with 4:33 to play.
Let's see where they're going to stretch it. Yeah, this is going to come up about a yard, about half a yard.
About half a yard shy. So Bill Arnold gets about a free timeout for his Hayden Wildcats with the mark just shy. So a silver lining despite not getting the first down yardage. 3rd and inches for the Wildcats. Ball is on the near side hash. That's the left side of the field. Moving from right to left as you listen. It has been as physical of a game as we have experienced all year long in the city of Topeka and maybe throughout Northeast Kansas in general. And the Hayden Wildcats have a chance here to extend a drive. 6th play of the possession coming up. Their first 2 drives of this half, 6 plays that ended in a pick, 10 plays that ended in a turnover on downs. The clock winds under 4.5 minutes. Wing right on 3rd down and inches. Holloway under center. Toss play to the outside. Desmond Purnell tries to bounce outside. Hit in the backfield. He carries it up toward the sticks. A great job gang tackling by Perry-Lecompton. But Purnell does have enough yardage to get the first down up to the 27-yard line. First down Wildcats, 4:12 to play.
Boy, he had to earn it, though. They kept stretching him to the outside, and Purnell just inched his way forward to get the first down. Now, they still have a long ways to go. With the clock running, we're coming up on 4 minutes left to go in this game.
1st and 10 from the 27, ball on the far hash. Sweep handoff going to the left. Purnell has a little bit of a hole. He's got a big hole to the 40, to the 50. One man to beat at the 35-30. He slows down and is thrown down by Dawson Williams near the 25-yard line. Desmond Purnell finally breaks one free for Hayden.
Boy, he got really one block. He was able to bring himself free.
And he racks up 48 yards on the carry. 3:51 to go. And we've got an injured player back behind the play for Perry-Lecompton.
That looks like Cameron Jeter.
Was grabbing at the back of his right leg, and Jake, that looks like it could be in the area of a cramp.
Yeah, he's grabbing his right calf right now. It looks like it is a cramp. The interesting thing here is Hayden does have a field goal kicker. What do you suppose the distance Hayden was going to have to get to? Because it could be the difference in this game with that big long run.
Not much wind tonight. It is a pristine October evening. A little bit chilly upstairs for us, Greg, but down on the field, this is great conditioning for football. And a little bit of a breeze, if any, that is blowing into the face of the Hayden Wildcats. The American flag at the north end zone blowing slightly towards I-70.
Get a quick update on the score. Right now, late third quarter, Rossville 40, Silver Lake 21. That, of course, is the war on 24 that we've kept an eye on. And, boy, this is the biggest gain of the night, 48 yards.
Biggest play for either team so far in this one as they continue to work on Cam Jeter, the defensive end, who has done a good job both offensively and defensively in the trenches tonight.
I think the Hayden crowd getting a little restless because they've been out there for quite a while.
As Jeter is still laying down on the turf at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, now they're going to, get him up. I don't think, if it is a cramp, it's not out yet.
And had to hop a little bit, but now he is limping off to the sideline under his own power.
Well, now if you're this Paws defense as well, you just got gashed on a big run, the biggest run of the night by Purnell.
It's Jesse Herman who will check in, 5'10", 190-pound sophomore, in at defensive end in place of Jeter. First down and 10 as the clock winds under 3:45 for Hayden. Johnny Holloway on first down, rolls right, launching deep, looking for the end zone, completed pass inside the 5-yard line! Johnny Holloway, his best pass of the ball game, hits Skylar Specht sliding down at the 5. First and goal, Wildcats, 3:35 to go.
Well, that ball was up in the air for a long time, but Specht had the distance to come down, get the football, had enough separation between he and the defensive man that he was able to get the reception, first and goal at the 5 with the clock running.
68 yards on the last 2 plays by the Hayden Wildcats. 3:17 to go, first and goal at the 5 on the far hash. Give inside, DeVader wrapped up as he gets inside the 5, down near the goal line to the 1.
Middle of the Perry-Lecompton defense.
Pickup of 4 to set up second and goal from 1 yard away for Hayden.
Second down and goal for the Wild.
Now, significant to remember, Greg, the first time Hayden was in the red zone in this game, Holloway was intercepted by the defensive end Hunter Hess for Perry-Lecompton.
Boy,
Now
they're going to take all the time they do to get that clock run down.
2:40 to go.
They may have to call a timeout. They've taken a long time.
There is no play clock visible at Hayden High School. They do break the huddle and everyone runs to the line, and now Bill Arnold will call a timeout.
Yeah, I don't think they had a choice. They can't afford to take a penalty here with it being second and goal at the 1.
2:28 to go. We'll take a break. We're back after this. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on 580 WIBW.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want...
All right, if there's another pick, I'm going to lose my mind.
I want to be a bike that races around the country. I want to be a bench on a forest trail. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if
That's fine. We'll have up top for it.
I won't be.
Give your
That's fine. We'll
garbage
be up
another
top
life.
for the play.
Recycle. Learn how at
Cool.
iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
When the coronavirus struck your community, what if you had no soap, masks, food, medical care? This is the reality for the world's most vulnerable people. But there's hope. Children International is helping provide children and families in poverty with the critical essentials they need to survive. Things like food assistance, hygiene education, medical health, and financial aid. To learn how you can help.
Here we go.
/help today.
2:28 to play on the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you. No score, but Hayden is at the 1 yard line with a second down and goal. Johnny Holloway under center. DeVader behind him. Give to Will DeVader. Hit at the line of scrimmage, and he's dropped back for a loss. An excellent play up front by a group of cause defenders, and it's third down and goal for Hayden.
Boy, they got the penetration that they needed and popped DeVader right at the line of scrimmage.
Third down and goal for the Wildcats.
And it looks like they're going to give him, I don't think, no gain, or is at the 2? Yeah, at the 2 yard line.
They move him back a yard. A great push up front. Monahan, Urban, Hess. The defensive line for Perry-Lecompton makes a big play. We go under 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. Hayden runs to the line. Third and goal from the 2. The ball is out. A bad snap right between the legs of Holloway.
Wow.
But Hayden is able to recover. 100 seconds to play. The clock continues to wind. But now the Wildcats are back outside the 5 yard line, and timeout is called on the field. Perry-Lecompton will take it. The clock reads 1:33. We will take the timeout too. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on 580 WIBW.
Let's be real. Mopping.
Hey, is this a 30 or a minute?
You have to fill the bucket.
I think it's a 60, but it's 2 30s put together. Do you want me to pull out after that first 30?
Yeah, can you do that for us?
So it doesn't grow.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, man.
A
Appreciate
hassle
it.
on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet.
Wow.
With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet. The faster, easier, cleaner way.
Here we go.
Of course.
The Hayden Wildcats facing a 4th down and goal from the 7 yard line with 1:33 to play in a scoreless ball game. Hayden ranked 3rd in Class 3A. Perry-Lecompton, their opponents tonight at home. The number 2 ranked team in the class. And a decision here for Bill Arnold and Hayden. They've got a veteran kicker in Skylar Specht, who has had a massive game defensively with a pair of interceptions.
I'm trying to see if he's got a T in his hand.
And yes, I believe he does, Greg. So from the 7 yard line, tack on a 7 yard snap. This will be a 24 yard field goal attempt for the senior Skylar Specht. Out of the hold of junior backup quarterback Gavin Arnold. Perry-Lecompton looks to be bringing the house. High snap. The hold is down. The kick is up, end over end, and it is good! Just inside the left upright. Skylar Specht, the first points of the game with 1:28 to go, and Hayden leads Perry-Lecompton 3-0.
Boy, they overloaded that right side. Came close, but close on trying to get a field goal block. Doesn't count, and it goes through. That's huge right there to be able to get that field goal to lead by 3-0 with a $1:28 left to go. And I believe just 2 timeouts left for Perry-Lecompton.
2 timeouts for the cause. That drive for Hayden, the longest of the day. The field goal was the 12th play of the drive. It took nearly 6 minutes off the clock. And now, the Perry-Lecompton cause, undefeated, 6-0 on the year. Trail the home team, Hayden Wildcats, 3-0. Hayden entered this game 5-1. Their lone loss back in week 2 on the road against Seaman, falling 28-22. A big moment now for Perry to try to keep its undefeated season going. Hayden looking to avenge a pair of one-score losses to the cause last year. 3 men are deep to return for Perry-Lecompton. Caden Quinlan, Dawson Williams, and the quarterback, Thad Metcalf. Parker Stone also switching deep now. Skylar Specht gets ready to kick it away with 1:28 left. He approaches the 40-yard line. A little squibber short and touches the Perry player, and it's recovered by Hayden. The Wildcats got it. Jameer Garrett, and hits the up man in the back, and Garrett's there for the recovery. 1:28 to go. Hayden with the lead and the ball.
I believe that was Russell Warren. It was either Russell Warren or Jackson Payne. One of the things they did when it came by him, he turned his shoulder trying to avoid it. It hit his shoulder, and it took a fortuitous bounce where Hayden was able to get it. Oh, man, they're going to... Oh, wow. Wow.
There will be a lot of sleepless nights. Just about 15 minutes down Highway 24 from here if Perry can't come back in this one, Greg.
He absolutely turned his shoulder to try to avoid the football.
1:28 to go. Hayden on offense. Holloway takes the snap and kneels down. Timeout called Perry-Lecompton. 3 seconds on the clock. 3 seconds off the clock. And now Perry-Lecompton uses its second timeout. 1:25 to go. We'll keep it here with you. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi upstairs. Jake Laban, our man down on the sideline. And Jake, a fortuitous bounce for Hayden on that kickoff, and an unlucky break for Perry-Lecompton's kick team.
And that wasn't intended either. That's the crazy thing about this. They were trying to kick it deep. You could tell by the spin of the football. If you ever kicked a football and you kick it a little bit over the top of it, it's got that side spin, and that's what ended up happening. I don't think that was the intention for the Hayden Wildcats, and you could tell that Perry tried to get out of the way, but of course if it's 10 yards away from you, it's hard to move that quickly. Just an unfortunate break for Perry, but what a tremendous victory for the Hayden Wildcats. 2 plays in this one in the second half. The long Purnell run and then the pass, the best completed pass of the day by Holloway. That's crazy. 2 plays, and this game ends up in the Hayden Wildcats' favor.
1:25 to go. Perry on defense still has 1 timeout. Holloway back under center to Vader behind him. Holloway waits, gets motion from Purnell. It's a hand up to him, sweeping to the left. He's got a hole, but he's hit low, eventually dragged down at the 35-yard line. A gain of 6 yards on second down and 11. Timeout called by Perry-Lecompton. 1:18 to go.
For Perry-Lecompton.
That time, Bill Arnold, instead of going with the knee, decides to move the ball forward. And Desmond Purnell, who had the huge play, the 48-yard run that eventually set up the field goal earlier on this quarter, pushes the pile ahead for a few. 3-0 Hayden with the lead. Perry-Lecompton needs a miracle.
If you think about it, probably the smarter of the 2 plays because of the fact that they had a bad snap down on their previous possession too. And obviously that's one thing they said, snap the ball correctly, get it into our quarterback's hands. You would think here, Perry-Lecompton, they probably will have 11 in the box, more than likely, to try and stop them there. So what do? I mean, do you try to give it like on a jet sweep or something like that?
You have to make sure you don't give it away. That botched snap on the goal line was a near disaster. Hayden recovered the ball and was able to stay alive. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 with 1:18 to play. Perry does not have a timeout. Holloway under center. Takes it. Give to Vader up the middle. Tries carrying a pile, and he's pushed back. Hunter Hess, the defensive end, goes low. Holds DeVader up at the 33-yard line. A gain of 2, and the clock continues to wind. We are now down to 1 minute left to play. There will be just a handful of seconds left in this one, and Hayden is keeping the offense on the field.
2 for the Wildcats.
If the Wildcats get the first down here, they win the game and improve to 6-1 and knock off undefeated Perry-Lecompton. If they do not, the Cause will have one shot. The clock continues to wind down to 35 seconds and counting. Hayden in absolutely no rush to break the huddle. In fact, more so milling around than actually calling a play. And Bill Arnold, head coach of the Wildcats, will call a timeout. 28.5 seconds to go. 4th down and 2 for Hayden at the 33-yard line.
Quick update on scores. Holton, 4th quarter, leading Rock Creek 41-13. Uniontown 18, Central Heights 14. Hiawatha 28, Royal Valley 14. DeSoto leading Leavenworth 28-21. And see if we can get an updated score or a couple of other updated scores. Tonganoxie leading Shawnee Mission East 35-0. And trying to see 40-21. We told you Rossville leading Silver Lake. Haven't seen a score between Lawrence and Olathe North. That, of course, number 1 against number 3 in Class 6A. A lot of good games tonight. This one right up there as far as what we have seen tonight on what has been an outstanding game played.
Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you at Hayden High School, the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps game of the week. 28.5 seconds left. Hayden leading 3-0 over undefeated Perry-Lecompton, facing 4th and 2 for the game. Holloway under center. DeVader, the fullback, behind him. Sweep handoff left. Purnell breaks the tackle. He's loose. 20-10. Play the fight song. Touchdown Wildcats. And Hayden is about to knock off undefeated Perry-Lecompton at home in Topeka tonight. From 33 yards out, Desmond Purnell, his 15th offensive touchdown of the year. And the Hayden Wildcats are about to improve to 6-1 in 2020.
Boys, simple play off the wing where Purnell was to the right, got it to the left, got one block along the line, and that's all they needed because Perry-Lecompton was selling out once he got by that first level. No one else was there for Purnell to get the touchdown.
Skylar Specht getting ready for the extra point. Snap is good. Hold is good. The kick is up. The kick is true. 21 seconds to play. It is 10 for Hayden and 0 for Perry-Lecompton. Greg, this has been an unbelievable football game here in the capital city tonight, and you have to give credit to Hayden because they went 12 rounds with the team that beat them twice last year, and they're going to come out on top tonight.
I guarantee you, if somebody looked at this score and saw 10-0, they would have no clue that the only 2 scores of this game have occurred in the last minute and 28 seconds of this football game. This was a knockdown, drag-out, slobber knocker, whatever you want to put on there as far as a euphemism is concerned. These two teams trading punches. Punch, counterpunch, punch, counterpunch. And in the end, well, it's been unbelievable as far as this game is concerned. An unfortunate bounce for Perry-Lecompton denied them of a chance to maybe get this last drive. They're going to get a last drive, but now with only 20 seconds left, and they're down by 10.
Specht gets ready, placing the ball between the hashes at the 40-yard line, straight behind the ball. 3 deep men to return for Perry-Lecompton. Specht approaches, sends it away, short kick, end over end, bounces at the 25-yard line off the hands of Parker Stoney, eventually picks it up, breaks one tackle, gets up to the 35, loses the ball, but he dives back on top of it at the 41-yard line. Exactly 14 seconds left to play. And the wheels starting to fall off for Perry-Lecompton, but not until the very end here. And Greg, it is easy to use old boxing cliches, a heavyweight bout and all of that, but it really does describe maybe the two best teams in Class 3A going head-to-head this evening.
This was beat 'em up and throughout this entire game. Absolutely.
This is the first Perry possession since they started the fourth quarter with the ball. There are 14 seconds left in the game. High snap, Thad Metcalf tosses it to the outside. Dawson Williams makes the catch at the 42 and is shoved out of bounds by Jordan Rayner of Hayden with 8 seconds to play.
The problem there is, he stood over him after he got the tackle. Mike Paramore's livid.
And I think there's an understandable reason why. Frustrations have been running high for both teams throughout the game. Blocking after the play. Word shared, bodies flying to the ground. It's been a well-played game. The referees have let a lot of things go. He just hope order is maintained until the very end. 8 seconds left after Williams was pushed out of bounds. 2nd down and 8 yards for Perry-Lecompton. Metcalf in the gun, trips to the right. That's the wide side of the field. Metcalf takes it, shallow drop, pressure comes. He has to run. This is going to be the final play of the game, and he's lassoed to the ground at the 42-yard line, taken down by J.C. Cummings, and the Hayden Wildcats topple the undefeated Perry-Lecompton cause at home, 10-0 in a battle of two of the best teams in Class 3A in 2020. An absolutely insane game. Desmond Purnell and Skylar Specht, two senior heroes for Hayden, share a teammate embrace near midfield. They salute the Perry-Lecompton players, and this game has come to a close. And Greg Akagi, what a game it was. Hayden 10, Perry-Lecompton 0.
Yeah, low-scoring game, but as we mentioned earlier, they